Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. So Derek Carr is not going to play in the final game for the Saints, and that just makes perfect sense for the Saints, especially because he has injury guarantees. Obviously going to have to make a decision on Derek Carr this upcoming summer. We're going to talk about some of the things that they can do with Derek Carr. We can first click on this article actually first. We can just read some of these things. Got it over to my side. Obviously, if they keep Carr, $10 million roster bonus, $30 million salary for that year, $40 million in cash for 2025. All of those things, they could lower his cap hit by $38.7 million. Obviously, that's going to be beneficial for the Saints just because the cap hell we're in and the pushing the can down the road. That's just something we've done with Mickey Loomis and whoever been the head coach for the last couple of seasons. So that's probably going to be the biggest likely outcome with Derek Carr. I don't think they're going to release him or anything like that. And obviously, they could trade Carr. Like it says, even right here, it's going to be unlikely that anyone trades for Derek Carr just because, I mean, it's a big contract and he has a no trade clause. And then obviously they can release Derek Carr, but that would just be idiotic because if you release him, it's not that much cap savings and you're going to have dead cap. You might as well just keep him around on the roster because, I mean, he is the best quarterback on the roster today. So there's that. Now we're going to take a look at some of these contracts. Derek Carr, obviously, to start off. Obviously, some big numbers here from Derek Carr. If you just cut him, this is pre-June 1st. $50 million in dead money. You only save $1 million in cap. Now, if it's the post-June 1st, $21 million in dead money, $30 million in savings. So obviously you can get a $30 million in savings. I think we're like -60, -70 over the cap. So obviously that will cut that in half, put you at about -30 or whatever the number may be. So that's obviously a realistic option in my opinion. Not too realistic because I think we're just going to restructure him for this next season and bring him back. But that's a realistic option. Obviously a trade pre-June, then you have a trade post-June. This would be the best case scenario, trade post-June, only $11 million against dead money and then $40 million you get to save against the cap. But like I said, no one's trading for Derek Carr to start the season. At least I don't think so. And he has a no trade clause, so we can kind of dictate to where he would go. And let me talk to the Saints real quick. Why are we giving Derek Carr a no trade clause? What, like, that's not Lamar Jackson. That's not Josh Allen. That's not Joe Burrow. That's not Pat Mahomes. Like, that's not even CJ Stroud who's struggling this year. That's not Jordan Love who's not like top 10, 12 quarterback. You gave Derek Carr no trade clause and now he's kind of holding you hostage. We did not need to be put in that position. He did not have the leverage to demand a no trade clause, but yet we give him a no trade clause because we're just desperate for anything. And I'm sure Dennis sounded like, do whatever it takes to get my buddy back. And that's why you're out of here, and that's why your buddy's going to be on the way. If it's not next year, it's the year after that he's out of here. He's not the long-term quarterback. We've already figured that out after 2 seasons. He's not going to be that guy. It just depends on what the Saints are going to want to do with him after that. And then obviously a restructure, $30 million you get to save. Obviously no dead money because you'll restructure his contract. This is probably the 90%. I think there's 90% chance this will happen, this right here. And then obviously an extension, and let's be serious. If we extend Derek Carr, I'm going to come on here and lose my shit. Also want to look at, some other people on the team, just while we're here. First of all, this is next year. This is, if we post-June, pre-June, everything I just did basically. For everyone else, Kamara we could ignore. Obviously Cam Jordan's going to be another big decision. Ryan Ramchick, retirement. Taysom Hill, another big decision right there. DeMario Davis, another big decision. But this is what hurt the Saints, man. I'm gonna scroll down real quick, and this is what hurt the Saints. Look at this. We have $50 million in cap for Jameis Winston, Michael Thomas, Marshawn Lattimore. None of those guys are on his roster. None of those guys are on his roster. That's just unacceptable. That's $50 million of the cap. And yeah, I know we've been kicking it down the road, and it's going to be more. It's going to be more. So eventually, I think we need to just eat it one season and just cut who you want to cut, void who you want to void, whatever you got to do, trade who you want to trade, and just get all that dead cap in one offseason. That's my opinion. I think we need to just suck it up for a year. Come out and say, hey, we're going to suck. We're going to just eat all this dead cap for 1 or 2 seasons so we can start this rebuild and start this process of getting back on the right track. Or you could keep on kicking the can down the road and have a 39-year-old defensive end and a 42-year-old linebacker and this and that, and your team's just not going to be any good. So we have options. Like I said, we have options with some of these guys, and a lot of big options and big decisions coming up with a lot of key players on this team, a lot of cornerstones of this franchise. With Ramczyk, who is really good tackle, all pro, but obviously doesn't look like he's gonna play football anymore. Then you got Cam Jordan, one of the best players in franchise history, gonna have to make tough decisions. Taysom Hill, who's coming off a knee injury, being old, gonna have to make some big decisions on these players. And I think a lot of them are gonna be a lot of feelings are gonna be hurt. Or Mickey Loomis just not going to care and just going to bring everybody back, and we're going to be a 4-win team again next year with Derek Carr. So it's a big decision coming up with Derek Carr. I know what a lot of y'all feel. Cut Derek Carr, cut Derek Carr, cut Derek Carr. If they cut Derek Carr, I'm not going to come on here and be sad about it. I'll tell you that much. But that's probably not the smart thing to do for the team. I think I wouldn't even restructure him, to be honest. No need to keep pushing this money down the road. Whatever his cap number is, let his cap number be there. Because if you restructure him, you're probably going to add void years. There's going to probably just push some money down the road. Then that dead money for the rest of the years will be long. Just take the cap hit, whatever it is this year, man. I don't even care. You may have to restructure it just to get cap compliant. So you may have to do that. But I would say if we don't have to restructure him and we're cap compliant, just leave it the way it is. Just leave it the way it is, so that let's just get this contract off the books after next season. And maybe, who knows, you may be able to trade him. Maybe able to trade him. There's a sucker out there somewhere. It's always going to be a sucker out there somewhere. Maybe someone gets hurt. Maybe someone needs a quarterback week 7, week 8. And, hey, maybe the Saints are just not a good team next year, which it doesn't look like we will be. Don't know who our coach and stuff will be yet. That's a long way away from now, but we'll see. We'll see, but man, it's a big decision. Obviously, he's not going to play because he has injury guarantees, and he's already injured. So put him out there and just to guarantee. And now you take the decision out your hand if he goes out there and get hurt. So Spencer Rattler get another start. I think rightfully so. He's deserved. He's shown he's the second best quarterback on this roster. He can show one more game what he's got, and it's against a team that's trying to make the playoffs. So it's not like he's going to go out there and not face top tier NFL talent or backups or things like that. The Tampa Bay Bucks are trying to make the playoffs, so he's going to get their best. He's gonna get their best shot, and we'll see how he responds to that. But big decision on Derek Carr. Can't wait to see what we decide. I can't say we. Can't wait to see what Mickey Loomis decide, because he's obviously the one-all be-all in this franchise, and he runs the entire thing. Hopefully that changes. I'll definitely have some videos on him in the near future, because the season, it's almost over. It's Friday, and we got a couple more days. The season's over. And we're going to have a party with this all-season stuff. But, man, yeah, Derek Carr, big decision. He's not going to play against the Bucks, thankfully, because no one wants to see that. Let's be honest. And we know he wasn't going out there with Rashishi, Chris Olave, and all those top guys. Come on now, be serious. Be serious. But thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, it's the Boot Tragedies.